Good evening. Hey, everybody. How you doing? Welcome to Wholesome WordZ, falling into something new. Whew, just so much has happened. Craig, I think it's been 30 days, no?
What's that?
Has it been 30 days? Has it been
a
month?
Oh, yeah. It's been one of the quickest months ever on Earth, on recorded history.
Oh, my gosh.
It's about to be Halloween, then Thanksgiving, then Christmas, then New Year's, and we get this stuff crunk up all over again.
Okay. All right. You know what, Craig? I don't know what's going on, but time is just flying. Yeah. Everybody, welcome to Wholesome WordZ Live. We are excited to be here. I'm Joanne. I'm the Wholesome WordZ creative and founder. And I have my wonderful friend, Mr. Craig Carlisle. He is the man with the voice. And he has so much to share. We both really do. It's been just one of those months that it just seemed like I don't even know. I don't even know where to begin. We don't really have like, and now we're going to talk about this, but we kind of have an idea. So if you're tuning in for the first time, Wholesome WordZ is here to encourage you creatives out there to submit some stuff and come on and share your things here on Wholesome WordZ. It's changed over the last, I'm proud to say, almost 2.5 years. Yes. I started this during the George Floyd murder, and this was my way of doing my peaceful protest. And it's evolved just like God evolves, you know. Isaiah 43:19 says, behold, I'm doing something new. Are you paying attention? Yo. So he has evolved this show, and I am just grateful to be able to do this much. So last month, Craig shared, was it just 2 weeks? He's gonna have to tell you, because just when the show started, he had just started a new, at the time was going to be like the side hustle. Well, the side hustle is
The hustle. The hustle.
And a lot has changed. And so I'm going to pass it over to Craig, because Craig and I have been all over doing all kinds of different things. Don't be surprised if we have a conversation on crypto arts, because that's where we've been all over the place. So Craig, I'm gonna turn it over to you, and however you are led, go forth, my brother.
Well, you know, it's funny.
It's a deep story.
You can hear me okay?
I can hear you.
Okay, cool. I was doing some stuff and I wasn't sure if I messed up my microphone or not. I don't know. I don't know where to start, Joe. Maybe I'll start with what I'm wearing.
Kind of recap. That's the nice one. Kind of recap, you know, do a little, you know, end teaser of what happened in August. And then
I can't even remember that far back, to be honest.
Okay, so in August you got your side hustle machine, right?
Okay, so August I got a brand new. I thought I had shared that.
You picture. Did, but you're recapping.
Okay, and I took the picture down, so I apologize. It's not in the.
That's okay. It's all right. They can use their imaginations.
Got it. So we're blessed to be able to get some brand new print equipment, brand new top of line, state of the art print equipment. Not the 11 or 12-year-old gear I was using in the past. Now, don't get me wrong. Bless God, I am thankful for that old gear. The old gear did take care of allowing us to get our feet into the industry, get our name out there. We were able to get a big hospital job. We were very thankful with that. Definitely thank you to all the other people out there who helped and supported us with that. That was awesome and amazing. But since that time, we've actually had another gentleman come alongside to partner with us in this endeavor to expand our print and apparel business. And it was just kind of wild, where I was really led by the Lord to reach out to this gentleman 2 years prior to ask him, hey, what does it take to get you involved in my business? And at that time, 2 years ago, really wasn't sure what he was going to do. We weren't doing print and apparel 2 years ago, so it really wasn't clear from the Lord as to what he was going to do and what we were going to do with his help. So, and when I had shared that with the gentleman, and he and I talked, and we walked through what I needed, talked about the problems we were having with our existing brother printers. They were, again, the brother printers we had in January or February, I guess February. So, they work and are commercial grade printers, but they just happen to be 12 years old, but they didn't have many prints worth of print mileage on them. So we thought, they would be fine. And the price was amazing. Well, they broke down. And so I was sharing that with the gentleman and said, hey, this is really what's going on. I really could use some help. And so, we was moved by the Lord, and he helped. He led us. He came alongside us, and we were able to, with his help, get brand new gear, brand new printer, brand new heat press, and a brand new pre-treater. So for those who don't know what we're doing, we've added direct to garment printing into our portfolio of things that we're doing to help the community, help things we're doing to help the family grow, things to leave a legacy for our children's children. So if you are wondering, okay, well, what is direct to garment printing versus what we used to do, what we were doing with the Cricut before? Cricut has an aspect of it which we call it a vinyl printing or heat transfer, where we actually can cut out single colors or pre-printed colors and ornamentation through using the Cricut machine, and you're cutting out more solid images that you can make layers with and press them onto a shirt. Direct to garment printing allows us to actually make it like a big inkjet printer basically, and you're able to print directly, like this shirt I'm wearing, directly onto the fabric, and then be able to heat press and lock it in. With our older machines, we couldn't print anything onto color shirts because the white ink just wouldn't work on that one. But now we can print on any color, any size, any type, any place. The more cotton in the fabric, the better. The shirt I'm actually wearing now, I will put up a view so you can actually see it better. This is actually the shirt I'm wearing. It's some lessons I have to learn, and it's also others I have to teach. This is actually a saying that the Lord had actually given me a word probably, I don't know, almost 6 or 7 years ago now, Joe, where I was really, dealing in a tough place with, I think, my kids at the time, where I just had to teach them some lessons, but there were some lessons I had to learn as well. So that's where this came from. And the original post actually has, library-based books in it as a part of the learning and teaching graphic. Well, anybody who's following me on social media, we had an interesting incident yesterday with someone deciding to hurl some racial slurs out at my youngest son. And the Lord brought this same saying back to my memory. And the Lord allowed me to make this particular graphic now. And I printed it on my way before I went to have a meeting with the assistant principal today about that issue. We're not going to talk about that issue here, but I wanted to make sure that this shirt was highlighted, because when I made it, the Lord was saying, this is something you could sell as kind of a new, excuse me, a new release of your own apparel line. Those who supported us last year in June, July, August with Caden's fundraiser for Camp Cassim, we continue to thank those who helped us with that. Appreciate it. Able to pay for 2 kids to go to camp. This is going to be the first release of designs off of the new machine. We're working on to get these to become available. I did post, if you were looking for a shirt, if you wanted a shirt, DM me. You can still do that. You can reach out to Joe. You can reach out to me directly. You can DM me if you got my phone number, because you know me like that. You can call me, text me. We can get this shirt to you. Not a problem. For those who happen to, wait any more than almost a week, we're working on these to become available on Amazon. I was offered 3 weeks ago, and I didn't know how to respond. I didn't have an answer really from my friend who graciously offered it to me. Great friend of mine. He sells products also himself on Amazon, and he offered me room on his Amazon store to sell one or as many shirts as I wanted. So I'm trying to circle back with him and confirm that, and prepare to have these and different variations of this same shirt. It also comes in white, and Ryan has made a request. Also, he would like to also have it in gray. This is an ash or heather gray. He also wanted it in a cream color, and this tan or cream colored shirt will also come in hoodies with and without pockets. And I had another friend to reach out on social media, and then they called me and texted me as well. And they were asking me, will these also be available in women's cut shirts? So yes, we will be having these available on Amazon. And we're also looking at Shopify as well. So it's very, very likely, Joe, that by the next week we'll be on Amazon.
I said
and
you Etsy too, Craig.
Yeah, I just didn't want to compete with myself. If we put it in too much of the wrong places, maybe I have the wrong philosophy. We do Etsy. I know Etsy's got a high cost that they charge their vendors. So that's kind of one thing that made me want to shy away from Etsy.
Right,
I
but they're a
haven't.
total different group of people that go on
True.
Etsy that don't even touch
Amazon.
Amazon or
True.
even eBay.
Or
So
even eBay.
just
Well,
Shopify is another one.
Okay.
I've used Shopify before as the administrator behind the scenes, so
Okay.
it's pretty
Well,
simple.
then I'll probably touch you and say, hey, can you help me
Yeah,
get the
it's not
Etsy
that
going?
hard. It's really not that hard.
Okay,
Yeah.
then we'll make these available on Etsy, Shopify, and Amazon. And again, I haven't decided all of the colors yet, but for sure we're going to definitely go with the black. And this one is a different one. This is actually just a black
Did you
hooded.
just make that, Craig?
This morning before I went to the meeting, I made it this morning. I
Made
created.
it. Wait, let me say it again slow.
Yeah, I actually created the graphic and printed the shirt all this morning. I got up about 8 or 8:15. Was frustrated with what was going on with the situation with my kid. I'm still working through some issues with my own insecurities about graphics and stuff, and I was looking for something kind of pre-done that I can kind of manipulate. I was on Canva to let you know I did, and I do, and you can attest. You've seen me. You've been at the house. You have seen me do and move between Canva, Photoshop, and Illustrator, all for the same project, because each of them do something different that the other doesn't or can't, or I don't know how to do. So I was on Canva this morning. I started with that, got some ideas of what I wanted. Then I moved back over to Illustrator and began to work in Illustrator and kind of make my individual layer work and get that done. Came back into Photoshop to, condense and edit, fine tune, shave off the rough edges, pop back into Canva for, I think, a quick edit, and then over to print and printed. And this is, again, so this is just a hooded long sleeve shirt, not a hoodie, and it does not have a pocket in front. So this is some of our unique offerings we're offering for those who live on the West Coast who would want a long sleeve shirt, maybe that's hooded with the gray strings or accented strings, but it may not be heavy enough for like really cold day, and you may not need something really heavy for a pseudo day. So this would be good for the Southern California people, San Diego-ish down. I also got the thicker traditional hoodies. And Joe, I was able to find out last time I was on the vendor site, there's actually a vendor that within their distribution that actually sells the oversized, old school hip hop hoodies that are oversized, like we were getting in the 90s too. So
I
a lot
want
of the
one
stuff
of
now are
those.
slim fit, but if you're, if
I can
anybody's
wear
looking
it
for,
like a dress.
yeah. So if you want any of those, we have access to those. So we're excited, and I'm looking for the women's cuts as well.
Okay, Craig. Okay, now everybody, if you're just now joining us, um, evolution happens. It is really good. I want to say this. It's really good that you really train your ear to hear from God. Now, those that know me and know Craig, they know me as a creative. I'm a choreographer, playwright, producer, all kinds of stuff. Now, when I met Craig was Mr. Song Guy, Mr. DJ. In fact, DJ Mr. C. He took the DJ off, now it's just a Mr. C. But you can find him as DJ Mr. C. Craig would be at different people's parties, spinning the turntables, having a good time. And that's Craig's background. Now, it's interesting if if you're paying attention how God has intervened with each one of these genres of art. So he has a natural ear. He actually knows how to play the piano. He's written some really nice pieces. I know because I use them on my podcast. So you hear all these, and I'm going to use the word plethora of art genres that God is using to help people and bring together community. And so I'm saying all of this because you may think that you're just that's visual arts is your one thing. And so yesterday, and it's just coming back to mind, I had this beautiful conversation with another arts friend of mine, but she's kind of a plethora too. I talked to Emily Kirkpatrick. Her and her father have this album. If you haven't heard In the Silence, you need to listen to it. But anyway, I had a discussion with her just last night. And this is a visual digital artist,
Mhm.
amazing. But she writes music, and she's, she has her own album out, her own EP. She's collabed with her dad, and they've traveled, and now a lot of their music is in certain churches as a worship, as praise and worship music. And if you're listening, you can hear all these different things. So you don't have to be siloed in thinking I can only do one thing. And if that's all you have, that's fine. I know my foundation. I don't know if you know my story. I didn't even think I was an artist. I wouldn't even use that word. What I would tell people is that, I would just do this. I just play with stuff, and that's what I would do. And I'm a choreographer. Are you kidding me? What kind of title is that? But I am. I'm a playwright. I remember my first play. I didn't get how people talk to each other, so I didn't know how to have a. But all that is old hash. And I say that again because if you just trust God, sometimes you just do it, and you may not know what you're doing, and it's okay, because the next time you do it or try something, it'll be better, and it'll be better, and then it'll get better. And so they say practice makes perfect. That's why people play on the piano, or they play their horn or the drums, whatever. The more they play, the better they get. Well, that's true with anything, but first you got to believe that God gave you something, gave you groundwork. So with Craig, I think Craig has always been a digital visual artist, and he's played around in different platforms of the arts, to where I think he shared with me that he thought about doing this like 20 plus years ago or more.
35. I was doing it at 18 years old. I did it for 2 years. My first business was called the Montage Group. Myself and Harold Chisholm, a good friend of mine back in the day, we did banquet books, magazines, actual designs. I designed fonts and myself, as well as doing graphics. All in. And here's it was even weirder. I only had a black and white monitor at the time. I didn't even have color. Harold had the color monitor. So when we used to do projects, I used to do all the black and white work, or shades of gray, to add color or use the color of shades of gray. And he used to do all the color work. And we would just merge our stuff together and just leverage our strengths. And it was just amazing. It was great. But I got out of it because I said, well, it's getting in the way of my homework as an engineering student. But my mom, she was the one that was bragging, oh, my son's an engineer. My son's going to be an engineer. So I actually finished my degree because of her, because she was sickly. And so, not sickly, but she was getting sicker and sicker during those times. And I just didn't want to disappoint her. So I just did it for her. But this time, it's for me.
I was going to bring that up. So he started in engineering. Craig, what kind of engineer are you?
Electrical engineer. Cal State Northridge. I do telecommunications, and city power was my thing. But don't ask me to do no electrical work. No, I don't fix TVs. No, I don't rewire your house, because electricity hurts when you shock yourself. So I'm done. I'm good. I can design it for you if you need, but I ain't touching it.
Anyway, you see, this is amazing. Wholesome WordZ live. I don't know if you hear other types of testimonies like that to hopefully encourage your next steps or where you're going, but sometimes just taking a leap of faith, regardless on how good it is, how bad it is. When I started, you will hear Craig dog me out, and I will use the word DAWG, dog me out, about where I am right now, because it did not start off like this. So even my meager beginning, people say, oh, you always have it together. Craig knows the truth. I'm gonna tell you, I kick and scream and like, no. But
on the real though, I didn't dog you out because you did anything bad. I was just giving you a hard time because you wouldn't show your face. Huh?
DAWG.
You always did a good job. You just didn't want to show your face. You wanted to hide in the background, like I've been guilty of too. But I did my first couple of videos with showing my face instead of just talking over them. So I did like you and stopped digging my heels in, and I actually did it. So
Yeah. So we grew up, but again, one example after another. It seems like all the new things I kick and scream and cry and boo-hoo and snot. And then Craig just like, okay, I just have to wait till she gets over it. And when I tell you I'm kicking and screaming, I mean, I was mad that he wanted me to turn my camera on. I was happy with, let me show you. I was happy with this. This was good for me. This was really good. And Craig said, no, you got to stop doing that. And I was like, why? I'm on it. You can hear my voice. I don't get what the problem is. And yeah, I grew up. It was hard. But again, I really do want to encourage those that are out there and those that are looking at, the arts as a way to do it. Andy said, tell it, Craig. But yeah, that's the truth.
Well,
It's the truth.
I tell you what,
But
you mentioned Rich and Emily. So shout out to Rich and Emily too. I just text you, Rich. So if you're watching, when you watch the playback, I just check your text message. Get back to me. I'm looking forward to you because Rich has got a new book out. It's a worship book, and creativity. Sorry, I apologize. It's not worship. You're right.
It's not worship.
Creativity.
It's about creativity.
Yeah, creativity. And I know he was somewhere in one of the reports, and one of the places he was at, one of the participants was calling him an ultimate creative, and they were really enjoying the book and what the book was doing for them in their life. So keep up the good work, Rich. Love to support your book efforts with some apparel print, because I know you can use some swag when you're out there on the road.
Right. So just a whole lot of stuff going on. So Craig's side hustle is his full-time, what do you say, 5 days a week, was for now was 7 days a week.
5 days, it's 7. I don't
7 days a week, all day long, all night long. And so if you are really interested in the work, I know if you've been watching the months, he always shares like the new things that he's created and stuff like that. So that has been exciting. And so I, for those that don't know or know, I am working on, I'm back in school, and that is crazy wild. And so I think the week of my second class was called The Third Economy. And so kind of cool. I got my master's degree from Fuller Theological Seminary with a concentration in worship, theology, and the arts. So yeah, and I kicked and screamed about that too. So yes. So, did you do that? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. But God kind of handed me Fuller, and that was probably one of the best things that happened while I was there. I met these two amazing Black theologians, which kind of definitely threw a wrench into just my mindset of what God called me to do. And so I was in the car with Craig. This time I didn't kick and scream, though. I want you guys to know, in April, I think it was
the
April.
car was too small to kick and scream. So you was beginning to snot and tear and cry, but you not all the way
kicking and screaming. That's just snotting and crying. The difference is Craig. So if you guys haven't been, I kind of want to show you this thing that we do every year. And I turned Craig onto it. He had been traveling with a movie he created. Yes, another thing that he did. He created a movie called, or he was a producer of the movie called Restored Me. Right. And he was coming back from somewhere, and he asked me if I'd pick him up at LAX. And I'm like, I'll pick you up if you come with me to this thing. And he said, yes, sure, whatever. And it worked. And so Craig and I, for the first time, went to this. It was called Pageant of Our Lord. Do I have it on here? I think I do. Oh, yeah, I do have it. I might show it to you. Anyway, so Craig and I go. We don't even know what it's about. We're just there. I had heard stuff, but when we get there, it was the biggest. Oh, oh my goodness! Did you just see that? Experience, and we've been like faithful goers, and those that know me, I go every year. And wait, it's October, the tickets may be out. Okay, wait a minute, I gotta go check that out.
The tickets are they open now?
They usually go on sale in October, November.
Yeah, because I just saw them on social media that they changed venues. And
yeah, because I think they're refurbishing or renovating the church.
Oh.
So oh my gosh, I gotta look for tickets. Anyway, so I'll show you this and I'll come back. Let me just show you the highlights. You might see someone familiar. Oh no, let me show you. Okay, so yes, those were live people. All those sculptures were live people, and they tell the story of Jesus from Mary getting pregnant all the way to the day of resurrection. An amazing production. Yeah. If you don't believe in Jesus Christ, that's okay. I really think you would believe after seeing this. It is amazing. So anyway, Craig and I go to this production, and we sit there with our mouths open, and then we go every year. So it's been every year except for when COVID happened, and
we had tickets then,
right?
That we didn't get our money back.
We were like, please do this. You know, it's my every year fix. By this time, I had like maybe 20 to 30 people who were traveling from the area of Temecula, Murrieta, and we were caravanning. I was to the point where I was going to get me a Greyhound bus because I had that many people. And COVID had knocked out everything for 2 years. And so this year was the first year that they came back. But even COVID in the early months of this year played around with them. They went from like 10 different shows to one weekend. And we were lucky to be paying attention. We were going to go at one of the other shows, saw they had canceled them, but we were able to jump on for like, I think it just had 2 days that they were showing. So we took the last day. So Craig and I are driving.
That last show I found
Yeah,
it's
the
the best.
last show. We've never done the last show. So
Yeah.
we're driving, and Craig says to me, you know, we start talking about the arts, and, I'm, the big passionate person, like the churches don't understand the impact of the arts, and this show is just so blah, blah. I don't understand what they don't get. And then he said, and you even went to school. I'm like, yeah, I went to Fuller. I really was thinking about getting my PA, getting my doctorate degree. And he said, and so why didn't you? And I'm like, well, that's a long time ago, Craig, blah, 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 blah. And plus now, Craig, after all these years, what would I do? And he turned his head real slow and said, teach. My mouth went open, like I didn't have a comeback. And so the next day, snotting and crying, I reached out to my professors, and I was all nervous and scared. And I hit send on the email and send on the last telephone number that I have from them. And I do mean many rains ago. And less than 5 minutes, my professor responded and said, I'm calling you. And I'm like, oh my gosh. By the end of the April, I was accepted into the program. I had my first class in July. That was exhilarating. And then my second class was in September. And so it's a unique, I won't go into how unique it is, but this one class that I took was called The Third Economy. And basically it just looks at the wealth gap of some of people. And it was introducing the thought of how digital currency, Bitcoin, and all those Ethereum, Cardano. Of course, I just learned this, so don't think like I know something. I just learned it. And so during the week, I was sitting there snotting and crying, like, oh my gosh. And so, yes, my emphasis is on beyond the arts.
Oh, I thought you were going to say your emphasis was on snotting and crying. I'm sorry.
It was snotting and crying too. But my emphasis on my dissertation is on the arts. And I was like, I don't get this, God. I really don't get this. I don't get it. And so he's telling you, the best time to invest. And if you're missing this moment, this is a time where the churches should really look at diversifying, because there's these markets that are leading more into a crypto digital marketplace and stuff. And I'm sitting there just going, but I write plays and I choreograph, and Lord Jesus, I'm creative, but yeah. So the class is over, and I remember it ending. I'm snotting and crying. Yes, I am. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be big girl. I'm gonna put in cryptocurrency and the arts. Okay, God, here I go. Googleized. Crypto art came up. Mm-hmm. I'm like, what? What the heck? So of course, it's like, it's kind of like, well, what seminary am I going to go to, and, same kind of story and effect. It just popped up. It's something that's been going on for at least the last couple years. Yeah. Digital artists, music, and a lot more that they haven't even whatever. So that's kind of what I'm writing my paper on for this class. So Craig and I got into a discussion, and I'm like, Craig, you got to check this out. And so we got on. I know it sounds crazy. But there is a whole genre of art that's happening in the third, in Web3. And so if you're like, well, what the heck is Web3? Again, I just learned this in September.
I just thought that was Web 1. I didn't know there was 2 or 3.
We're in Web 2 right now. This platform that we're working in is all the domains in Web 2. Web 3 is where you're hearing about the metaverse and all that other stuff. That's happening right now. So I didn't know any of this stuff, but I have just been amazed of what's out there, but what does that mean for the Christian creative? And so that's kind of what this particular assignment project is on. And so Craig and I have been just trying to wrap our heads around it and really kind of look at how we can right now before, because the prediction, everyone's got to predict something. That's what stock exchange and all this other stuff is, that within the next 5 years, what we see right now will all be digital currencies. And if you're listening to the news, I just heard something and I wanted to fall out laughing because I'm like, oh, I actually learned something. They talked about, I think it was the Russia's war, and the Ukrainians bought their equipment on cryptocurrency. I said, shut
Wow.
up. So it's here, it's coming, it's evolving, but where's the church? Where are Christian artists?
Online.
Whether it's digital, music, and I'd have to look at my paper. It's like a 2 or 3 other things and more. They say much more. I want to be a part of that much more. The class talked about how in some of the other countries that is their cash. That's how they're paid. They exchange and they pay for, like they go and get, you can remember, go to the penny candy store. They use that cryptocurrency for everything. And so again, Craig and I are trying to wrap my hands around all of this. So I just wanted to share that with you, that things are changing. Isaiah 43:19 is really, really happening, but where's the church? And so that's kind of where my for this particular class of Third Economy, that's what my focus is on, introducing the digital currency that's happening now. Yes, people are watching the digital market, and they talked to another friend, and they're like, well, I want you to know Bitcoin crashed last week. And I'm like, okay, that's part of it. But understanding where's your place going to be. But for me as an artist, where is your place going to be? So maybe there'll be more to come as Craig and I sift this out and tease things out. I have some ideas. I need to kind of flesh them out. But maybe, Craig, you can share your adventure and maybe what you found when we stumbled across all this stuff together.
Well, I'm trying not to go grab the shirt.
Don't do it, Craig. No, told you, no.
Because I think I'm ready. I know I'm ready for my second NFT. I know the first NFT is going to be the one that I did. That's we're trying to curate and not talk about it. But we have some. I'm working on a project that's basically called Flowers, right? Where you're giving people flowers while they get live. So I'm keeping that curated until I can get all the digital rights management stuff that NFT actually created and released, and work on the videos for that as well to send to the people that I'm creating them for. I actually got another person to make one for someone else, a flower for someone else as well. So when I do this next one, Joe, you'll see it's going to be more of the feeling and the thank you from this other friend of mine to the person. I know the person. A lot of people know the person as well. They're a known named person. But my other friend actually worked alongside them and were taught and mentored by them. And so they wanted to be able to create a flower to give to their mentor as a thank you for their hard work and for their labor and for doing the unsung things. So we're working on those, and I'm excited. It's kind of crazy and terrifying all at the same time. We have Rod is actively working on making sure that the server can support Web3. His initial thought was that it's no problem. He's just working out the final tech side to make sure that we can do whatever we need to do, or if we ever needed to host anything locally on our site and our server versus leaving it all in the stores, in Web3 stores. So I'm excited about the opportunity, Joe. and trust me, when we sat down, we're talking about eating those vegan tacos. Shout out to Seek Catch.
Yes. Y'all
you
have
know,
never had some really good tacos. What's the name of them people? Craig?
Seek
Nicole?
Catch. Sea Catch. Yeah. I'll have to get the graphic and we can put it up later. But anyway, it's amazing. It's actually what chickpea or mung bean, whatever the term you want to use is. It's actually that
Garbanzo beans, right?
Sorry. Thank you. Garbanzo beans. I call them chickpea, but anyway, garbanzo
It's
beans.
both. It goes by either one.
And they label it as fish tacos, but there's no meat. And they actually won best taco in San Diego 2 years running. I think it was 2019, 2020. So it's pretty awesome. And if you laugh and you're like, oh, what the heck's a mung bean or chickpea, whatever it is, I don't know. I don't care. All I know is it tastes good and it's healthy for you because it is vegan. And I'm not a vegan, but I can eat that way if it tastes good, I'll eat almost anything, So in that taco does taste amazing. And they also serve it as a fish stick. So if you were looking for fish and chips, they also prepare it as fish and chips. And for those of you who are looking to even have some at home and not have to always try to find the vegan pop-ups and things like that, they do also sell them in a frozen 10-pack, and you can prepare them with the instructions for air fryer, the oven, and I don't think the regular conventional oven. Thank you. So you can do it. And I've done it. I've actually done it in my air fryer, and I think it came out just fine. So anyway, that's a creative side of eating. We weren't talking about creative eating, but we do creative eating and creative arts as well.
Yeah. So, like I said, falling into something new. I had no idea in September, and like I said, I probably snotted and cried about this class. And in the class, there were, some of these people who had invested before. So their conversations were, as far as I was concerned, in another world. And I was not even on the sidelines. I had my old time, whatever telescope, and I still couldn't see or understand now one thing they were talking about. So I was like going, okay, Lord, I don't even know how I'm gonna write this paper. I don't even know how I'm gonna relate it to the arts because that's part of the class. I'm like, this is just this out my wheelhouse. And the first thing I did to just put some calmness to me was when I saw crypto arts. So there's crypto arts, NFT arts, which is fungible. I know, some kind of crazy term, tokens. And there's this blockchain technology, which makes it happen where you can actually right now pay for different things through whatever cryptocurrency there is. And so my professor gave me like his top 5, and he has, before he got called to become a pastor, he was working as an investor, vice president, I think, in Chase. So he was high up there doing all kinds of investments. So he is well knowledgeable, and I trust his what he says and how he says it. And I just thought it was really interesting because when you get down to it, is that as we are evolving, whether it's crypto arts or just waiting for the currency to actually hit, where are you? Yeah. They're giving it 5, maybe 10 years from now, and everything will be on the Web3, and everyone will be or should be using
crypto.
Yeah, the digital currency. So I kind of didn't want to be the last person on the boat.
Can I share something with you on there?
Yeah.
Remember when I sent you that video from that design show, The Hype?
Oh, yeah. Show that. Do you have that?
I have that. While we're talking, I'll try to do my best to do 2 things at once and put that up. I will do my best. But in the meantime, I do want to take this shirt and make it the second NFT, but also make it a wearable for the avatars online, because that was one of the challenges for the contestants on The Hype. And if you don't watch The Hype is a streetwear design show on HBO Max. They just finished their second season. One of the 3 judges is Offset from the hip hop group. I can't remember the name of the top. I can almost call it. Sorry, blame it to the old guy's head. But anyway, I really love his design style and his aesthetic. But the challenge was for the artist to design clothing that was in real life and make a spin-off of it for the avatars as well. And the winner would get a runway show in Web3 in one of the venues. Also in there, as a part of that contest, they were talking about the original concept for screen print tees and where they came from. So they actually talked about that, and they brought on one of the original creators of a screen printed tee, which is, I believe, is Johnny Hundreds. I believe is the guy, is one of the original creators. And so there's a video I'll pull up. Joe, I'll send it to you later on YouTube about the original screen print tees, where hoodies came from, how hoodies came about, and how Champion, the brand, is one of the original manufacturers and creators of the hooded sweatshirt. But it's just amazing how streetwear and what we're doing as artisans comes together. And they always had a screen print machine in there, but they also now have a direct to garment printer. They didn't show it, the brand, in the episode, but I was super excited that they had it. So
Craig, look for that
sure.
that one, because it's a great spinoff. So as you can see, earlier I was talking about just being open and just trying new things. I know Andi is on. Hey, Andi, if you've been on long enough, Andi will tell her story of how she didn't even know she could write poetry. If you've heard any of Andi's
material
work, she didn't start off like that. Let me tell you. But where she is right now, she has grown, and her foundation was kind of rocky. Craig will tell you that her stuff was really rocky, and then she's just kept working on it and working on it.
She's not rocking now. She's smooth.
Pushed her out the nest and said, "Go get it." And now she's doing all kinds of amazing things. If you haven't been watching, she's writing. From watching Wholesome WordZ, we have this amazing friend. We need to contact Ronnie. If you guys don't know Ronnie Robles, oh my gosh. He is amazing. Yeah, and again, the plethora of things that he can do. He's a spoken word artist. He's a muralist. He does all kinds of different art things. His work is just renowned. If you're down in the valley, near LA, you probably know about him. Pasadena, he is well known right now. I think he's teaching at a school, right, Craig?
I believe so. The last time I saw, he was teaching at a school in the Pasadena area. I don't know what the name of the school was, but it's just phenomenal opportunity for him.
Right. So he is he's again doing a plethora of things. Ronnie tells the story of he's always drawn. He always was drawn to pencil paper. And so his mother would give him a pencil and a paper to take notes in church. And so next thing she knows, she looks over and he's drawing something. Then she take him home and spank his butt. And then the following Sunday, he does the same thing over and over. Then she just realized, and then she told him, "You draw what the pastor's talking about." And after that, he said the lights were on, and what he hears and what he does. If you've never seen Ronnie Robles, be in an event, and he'll, oh my gosh, I can't even explain it to you, because it's just so amazing to see how God maneuvers through him and how he shares what God is saying to the people in the room. It's amazing. But anyway, Andi was introduced to him. He gave her some pointers. Hey, do this. And Andi's just, doing all kinds of different things now. I was thinking she was going to slip on and she has something new, but I guess you had nothing new this time. So we are falling, if literally and physically and figuratively falling into something new. And I go back to Isaiah 43:19. Behold, I do something new. Do you not see it? So I see crypto arts coming. Where it has to do with Christian creatives, I'm trying to figure that out right now. I do know that the major, oh, she says she's ready to share now. When she
Ooh.
said, look at this, Craig, look at this girl right here. Um, she the major museums, Smithsonian, some of the Louvre, all of these major museums that people go every weekend are now putting some stock and work into creating their own platforms to be able to host to hold digital art, crypto art, NFT art, or Ethereum art. And so the platform that really uses the cryptocurrency is called Ethereum.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot more to it. And I'm diving as deep as I can get a better understanding. But yeah. Craig, did you find that
I'm still looking. I'm going back to the text string that you and I
are you
had
looking through
because,
the text?
yeah, I'm looking there now because it's
Because you couldn't find it, huh?
no. You know how you always when you're looking for something that you know you
Yeah, of
have.
course. Yeah, that always happens. Yeah. So um Ah, yeah, it's a lot going on, a lot. But I do want to encourage everyone to really start looking at. Um,
Okay, I found it in the string. I'm gonna see if I can put it. If Andy comes when Andy comes in, I may be ready just before or just after hers. Bear with me.
okay, so hold on. I'm trying to do this now. Uh, yeah, so just a lot has happened, as you can tell. Yes, and this all happened within the last 30 days. So um, we laughed. We were laughing ourselves to like, what the heck? What's going on? And why is this going on? You know,
Yeah.
um, are we there with it? What are we doing? Andy, you may need to check your email if you're listening. So it's just a lot. But I come from the kicking and screaming. I understand. But kick, scream, cry, but stand. Stand on the word of God. That was my message this morning for myself. But stand on what's going on. Stand on that something new is happening. Stand that God is creating something new. Jeremiah 29:11 says, for I know the plans I have for you, to bring you a future and a hope. So the God is speaking to us, and if we just trust in us and push all of our insecurities and snotting and crying and kicking and screaming out the way, there's amazing things that happen. And if you've been watching the evolution of Wholesome WordZ, we get guests on every now and again. It's someone new. Usually it's Andy who, she likes to work on share what, God has given her. And she has, she started off with just a couple um, different poems, and, we've grown from there. And, she can tell her story again. But I want to just encourage everyone. Did you find it, Craig?
I found it. I'm just in the process of copying it, and the copy process it's becoming a little challenging, but I'm
Okay.
almost there.
This is going to be a real treat. As like I said, Craig started his t-shirt business. He started off his first job as a kid was a visual artist doing all kind of print, on demand. And then he evolved and became this engineer, this electrical engineer. But he's always had a passion for hip hop and doing DJ music, amazing DJ. If you've never had Craig put a party together with you, like Kirk Franklin says, want to party with us, one of the best DJs I know out. He can seriously do a Christian hip hop show. If you haven't heard the framework is a stem from the things that he grew up doing, and now his whole family, the sons, are involved with the framework. Craig has also evolved into podcasting. So you hear all these things that is art filled, but it's just because he's willing to just take a chance. And so we looked at each other, and I was telling him, I'm like, hey, what you doing? And he said, all right, let's get this, let's get this, and let's figure this out. So we're just waiting to hear back how we can put our footprint, no problems, into the Web3, and looking at through the lens of Christ, how we can encourage people, and young people, old people, to do, some of those crazy things that you say, I don't know. You won't be right. You'll never know. Like I said, I went from having my camera completely off, and you saw what it was. It wasn't even a picture of my face. It wasn't, I didn't even find none of, and I have plenty of pictures. It wasn't even a picture of me. I was going to let the flower do the talking. It felt,
and you did. It was just blah, 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 blah.
But yeah, so it is there. It is there. Yeah.
The file is,
Craig? You got it?
It's converting over. I'm just waiting for it to get there.
All right. Yeah. So cryptocurrency. You can look it up. Ethereum. That is the only cryptocurrency right now that actually works with digital art. And when I saw like somebody, there's all kind of digital art that's out there. There's a way for you to upload your art, and when they say publish it, they use the word minting, so that it is clearly known that you are the author. Even if somebody wanted to like copy paste and take your work, it won't happen because of the blockchain technology that's out there. And so I know I'm using some cryptocurrency language, but it's only because less than 30 days ago, when I didn't know nothing, honey, this is what I have. And then for like this class, as I shared with you, I am working on a 15-page paper, which looks like it's going to be more than 15 pages, because it's just so much information and just introducing people to the arts, or crypto arts, and what, not just music and memes, short videos, and digital art. It's the much more that I'm looking at. So
much more.
The much more.
And now, how did you? Now, when you found your professor, how did he say how he got involved into the process?
How he got involved in cryptocurrency?
Yeah.
Well, he's been a stock, investor. So he started to just play and see what happened. And then he started looking. He tells a story, and I'm going to do the best I can. But like I said, I was like, when Jesus take the wheel. He talked about how gold is no longer the whatever, something.
The money standard.
Yeah. And so once that was changed, things fluctuated on like the paper, the money from the Federal Reserve. Then when Bitcoin came out, I think he was part of those few people who got Bitcoin when it first came out, and it was like 30 cents or something goofy like that. But then it just started turning, hand over foot. There's been some good investments. There's been some bad investments. And so just, staying strong and watching what crypto was going to do. Is how he's been doing it. So he's been doing it for years. So he has like this full understanding of the stock exchange because he was a vice president of it. And yeah. So yeah.
Well, this is becoming a problem, Joe. This is just choosing to not do what I wanted to do, and now my phone is locked up at the same time. So
Yep.
we may have to do it another time because it's just not.
Okay. Well,
It's not
I
doing
know that
what you're doing.
I know that Andy's trying to get into to the studio. So we'll wait for her. And if it's not working, Craig, I'm trying to figure out how. I don't know if I can do something on my end.
I'm going to try a different approach here too. So as we keep talking, and those bear with us as we're trying to do this on the fly technology, which isn't always.
Yeah. Again, when we started, if you're just joining us, you can see that I told you that falling into something new.
Yeah.
We didn't have an agenda of what we're going to talk. Sometimes we talk about it, beforehand, but it's not. That wasn't the way it was going to be today. So I'm just happy to say that part of my homework for this class is almost done. You know how you have to read through it and make sure it makes some sense. Oh, look who's here. And I know before she gets on, she's going to stand and do her poem, right? Yeah, okay. I see her backstage. Everybody, let's welcome Andi. Excuse me. She's the poet, inspire, and encourage, uplift. If you happen to follow Andi she's on Facebook. She has a Facebook page.
Yes.
Welcome again to Wholesome WordZ. Could you talk about a little bit of your journey and your Facebook page?
Sure. So thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you, Craig. So nice to see you guys. It's been so fast. Like a month has gone by.
It's been so long.
I know. I'm just grateful. I'm just grateful for this and for you guys. So basically, on how my journey began was with a prayer. Honestly, a desire to be more of an impact to other people instead of just my children and my husband, but to people across the world. And God put it upon my heart. When you delight yourself in God, He gives you the desires of your heart, but really it's actually His desires that are aligned with yours. So He gave me a desire to want to do more for other people. And He asked me to reach out to you, Joanne, through Facebook. I sent you a friend request. We got hooked up, and then you revealed to me that I have a talent, a gift in poetry that I did not know. I was not aware that I had this gift. Even though through college, I actually would, I thought they were like rap songs. But I didn't know that they were actually poems that I was actually doing. And you actually, Joanne, was telling me something about rap, saying like it's like rhythm
and poetry.
Rhythm and poetry. That's what rap stands
poetry.
For. Yeah, it comes from the late 70s, part of the art explosion that happened in Harlem.
Yeah. So I didn't even know that I was actually doing poems. But I was thinking I was just doing like rap songs. But to my surprise, I was actually, having it done. And when I met up with you through online, you invited me to share my gift on your show, Wholesome WordZ. And at first I was hesitant because I wasn't, ready to take that leap. So I wanted to be inspired and encouraged by other artists on your show, which really motivated me to want to take that leap of faith and actually explore and develop into what God already put inside of me that was actually dormant, that I didn't really know that was there. So when I embarked on the journey of, figuring out, okay, this poetry, okay, Lord, I'll do it. I'll do it. I started doing iMovies, creating music videos, but then I did it with pictures, and I didn't show my face. I wasn't doing it live.
Craig, that's how you get started.
And I was doing voiceovers, and surprisingly, I was still nervous. Even you could hear my voice, you couldn't see me. I was still nervous doing the videos. I know it's kind of weird, but I was still nervous doing that because it's a new territory, new domain, and I didn't know what I was doing. I was just trusting in God and following what He was telling me to do. So as time progressed, in December of 2020, you, Joanne, put on my heart to go more deeper into spoken word. You gave me like a whole course. You had me go through many different female Christian spoken word artists like Jackie Hill, Amina Brown, and Genetics, just for a few, for those that don't know, and to really get involved in what spoken word was all about so that I could actually, be, I guess, overwhelmed or saturated in what spoken word was about. Because obviously for you to learn the craft, you have to teach yourself, you have to train through it in order to actually live it out. And so when I had the first poetry or poet live, I would say, like I am now, was in January of 2021, which was Breakthrough. That was about when I was teased and humiliated from elementary school all the way up to college. And God really transformed me and really shaped me to have that breakthrough. As time progressed, I started to get better. And of course, with your mentorship and your help and your support, Craig, things start rolling. And obviously those trials and tribulations, I learned lessons. I learned to be humble because I was very prideful. I'm not going to lie. And I had to be put in my place, and God put me in my place. Those things I learned and I took with me, and that has helped me grow to be a better person than I am today. And so I'm grateful. I'm grateful for everything. Like God says, be thankful in all circumstances. So I'm thankful. I'm very thankful that I'm here today. And then as time progressed, you, Joanne, asked me to embark on having my own Facebook page by sharing my gifts and my poetry on my own Facebook page. I guess kind of like my own show, or I guess you would say, and pushing me out of the cradle, I guess you would say, out of the nest, because I felt very comfortable on your show, even though at times, even doing live, I still get that nervous feelings or whatever. But that was my comfort zone. And I needed to be pushed a little bit more, as we all do. In order to change, we have to be pushed out of our comfort zones. Otherwise, we're not going to change. We're just going to stay where we are. If we don't change, nothing's going to change, right? So as you pushed me, God kept on putting on my heart to name a page called Inspire, Encourage, Uplift. I kept just hearing that. And you really, really motivated me, Joanne, to really push myself to show forth my creativity, because if you said, if I don't create, I'm not serious. I'm not serious about it. I'm just playing games, So I wanted to be serious and to show forth my actions, because that's how we show whether we're serious or not, through our actions. We can talk the talk, but you got to walk the walk too, right?
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was.
Wait, show your shirt again, Craig. Wait,
huh?
Shirt. Wait. I'm gonna show the shirt. Hold on, Andy. Hold on. Wait. I'm gonna show this one. Hold on, Andy. Some lessons.
Yes.
I just felt that was appropriate right now. Okay.
Yes.
Go ahead, Craig. Go ahead, Andy.
Yeah, so most definitely. I embarked on this journey of doing the Facebook page. And so now every month I post a video that I produce with music videos, pictures, but I actually show forth myself. I'm not hiding behind the pictures. It's like more of a green screen kind of feel, where you see a 3D image of me, but you still see the pictures behind me, and still hear me say the poem as well as the music behind in the background. So God has done wonderful things. Every night, when I started, God put on my heart to look at Inspiring Quotes, which is a website. So every night at 12:05, I get a quote. I don't know what that quote is going to be, but I relate that quote to Bible Reasons, which is a website that I go to, and I correlate those two together. And then I make a little blog, and whatever God wants me to put, as today we're learning about such and such, I'll put that, and he tells me what to write, and I write that, and then I send it and I post it. And it has spread. There's 246 followers now. There's 46 people from Philippines, 130 from US, South Africa, Kenya, I don't even know how to pronounce it. I don't know how to pronounce it. Trinidad, Tobago, all these places that I myself would not have never imagined to have reached without the grace of God. Yeah. If it wasn't for God, I literally would not be here today. So I'm so grateful. I'm thankful that I took that leap of faith. And it's interesting because God wanted me to share this poem called Overcoming Our Fears. Overcoming our fears. If I never overcame my fears of taking that leap of faith, of actually, wanting and searching to be a Christian spoken word artist, I would not be here where I am today. So I hope you guys be blessed by this poem, and just be inspired and encouraged and uplifted to actually overcome your fears and just let God do what he does, and just take control of your life, and bless you and bless others in so many ways. So I'm going to start and be blessed. Life is frightening because we never know what will happen in our lives in totality. But to overcome our fears, we must put our trust in God wholeheartedly. There's a quote from a Christian artist, Corrie ten Boom, that states, "Never be afraid to trust an unknown future to a known God." God knows what will happen in our lives, but we must take that leap of faith and overcome our fears. We should not live in fear because God is always near. Fear is a perception of what might or might not happen, which has a way of paralyzing us into not stepping out in faith and taking action. It strangles the life within us, having complete control over us. But we can't live in fear forever. We must allow God to guide us. We can't accomplish anything in this life if we choose to live in fear. If we're too afraid to try something new, even apply for a job, we take those opportunities for granted. Every day passes by because we did not take a leap of faith. So how do we overcome our fears? We overcome our fears by putting our trust in God and getting out of our comfort zones. We first must be honest and recognize this spirit is not from God. The spirit of fear only comes from the devil. So let us offer all our worries unto God. As it says in 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7, "For God did not give us the spirit of fear, but of power and love and self-control." We can overcome our fears if we put our trust in Jesus Christ. Let us walk by faith and not by sight. Instead of allowing our fears to overpower us, let us dwell on the promises of God. God, after all, is the one who comforts us with his staff and rod. With Jesus, we can take anything that may come our way. So let us choose not to live in fear today. Let us not live in fear, but have faith over fear. For it is only Jesus' perfect love that casts out all fear. Let us respect God. Then we can walk courageously with God, knowing all our worries will disappear. Thank you. Can't hear you.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That poem was for me. I was having one of my snotting and crying moments this morning, and that poem was for me. And I appreciate.
I'm thankful that I was obedient because God told me to do it.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
Yeah, you were all up in my grill. That was for me. Thank you.
But the blessing is the word does say that the Lord will reveal himself to those who diligently seeking or are actively seeking him. And if you are, as you described what you're doing in taking an inspirational quote, cross-referencing it with the word of God, you're spending time with him, you're making yourself open and available to the Lord for insight, right? And you're hungry, you're searching for it, you're digging for it. So of course he's going to reveal, right? He's not going to give you back a stone. He's not going to give you back a blank moment, right?
Right.
He's going to give you some insight. He's going to give you a word. He's going to give you something for the blog to share and pour out. And where it also talks about out of a man's heart or person, how is out of their heart flows the issues of life, right? It's the issue that you're putting in. You're putting the word in, and it has no choice but to flow back out. So continue to go and do your thing. Don't be static or stagnant, and not allow that to flow, and continue to push. So yeah, and we are receiving the presentations that you're sending. I'm under the frameworks under construction. We are actually going to revamp that site and re-release it as under the umbrella of Remnant Media, because we're going to release Remnant Media as our network instead of just having the framework as a separate page. So we have it in a more of a, I don't know, like a Netflix or a Hulu type of look now. So that's coming. It's coming soon. I've been
nice. I'm excited for that.
Outstanding. Yeah. So we hadn't forgotten about you. My dog's got it here.
Thank you.
Maybe I get Phil to join us for a second. Come on, Phil.
Hey, you gotta show. You can't just show Phil.
Oh, they got big. They got big.
Yeah. Hi, Phil. Hey, Dr. Phil, you hear me? Hey, Phil. Hey, Hello. Dr. Phil. It's me.
You hear me still?
Where's LeClaire? Where's LeClaire James?
She's on the floor here. She just came in too.
Oh, you gotta show LeClaire James. Those are Craig's. They were itty bitty little things about a couple. Hi, LeClaire. LeClaire.
He's big.
Hi, puppy. Hi, puppy. I see you. Hi, puppy.
I hear her, but I don't see her.
Baby. Hey, LeClaire.
It's just this person on this glass thing up here.
Hey, LeClaire. LeClaire James. Yes, her name is Claire, but you see I changed the name to the dog. Yeah. Yes, I do. And I go there and I call her LeClaire and she comes. So
it's not a flying dog.
Hey, Dr. Phil. Hey, Dr. Phil.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Is that Cadence?
Yep.
Hey, Cadence, how you doing?
Very good.
Wait, that's
Bless.
That's my 6'5" Caden.
Yeah, you got big. You're growing.
He ain't even stopped yet. 6'5" Caden. You just get home from work?
I've been home roughly an hour.
Okay.
I just ate some food. Yeah, I got home at 7:30. Well, no, I left by 7:45.
Yeah, I saw you come in.
Yeah, I think the household of Carlisle are all Target employees. Is that correct?
Except for Jackson and myself.
Jackson and Shane.
What's Jackson's problem?
He's underage.
Yeah.
Oh.
Illegally.
We got him working we got him in the sweatshop anyway, so don't worry.
All right. Worry. He does have a gig. He does have a gig. Yeah. Yeah, all the Carlisle except for Craig and Jackson and Shane.
And Shane.
Yeah. Yep. The whole other three are all employees of Target. But yeah, that poem, Andy, was for me. And so I appreciate your willingness to listen and to step out on what he's called you to do. Because I needed, that was a conversation me and God had this morning, in fact.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, exact same. So I'm going to listen to God, sit up here and throw this in my, okay, God, I see what you're doing. You're going to send my child and she going to sit up there and just say, this what it is, Joanne. And I'm like, that go. But excellent. Super proud. I'm excited about your growth. You talk about missionary work, you're reaching people and you have, and you're sharing the gospel of Jesus Christ in a creative way. And so I applaud you, and I'm glad that there's growth and that you're open to the growth. And you admit, as me and Chris, I still snot and cry. So everybody said, oh, she just does it with the blink of her eye. And no, it's not like that. It's not. Like I was just telling you, I was in class last month and they were talking all, I was like, Lord, help me. So you go through that, but you stand on what the word of God is, and you bring back to those memories. Like Andy said, God's not giving you the spirit of fear, right, but, of a peace and a sound mind, and understanding that God's never left you or put you in a situation where his best for you wasn't already sitting there. You just needed to go to the table, pick it up. And so, Craig, I'm thinking, Andy, don't you need some T-shirts that you need to like raffle off on your Facebook page?
Yeah, that'll be nice.
Could you see encourage and inspire, encourage, and uplift on a T-shirt?
Of course, most definitely.
Craig, can you do that?
Yep, not a problem. I would be honored.
See, yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, that could be your awesome T-shirt side hustle.
It ain't no side hustle.
Yeah, well, no.
It's the hustle, right? Yeah. I was listening in.
The hustle.
The
hustle. Yeah. But yeah, so I know we shared a lot today. But again, to inspire and hopefully provide, different things for you to think about. Craig's story is huge, and it's funny because it's almost a year. The cricket is almost a year old, and I would say it all started with a spark of cricket to get to where we are today. We've gone from talking about what we're doing, and we're now dancing through Web3 and finding our place and putting our footprint there, putting some type of a Christian artist footprint there. There's really more to come. God has just so blown my mind out of control. I'm working on so many different creative things, including going to school. And so 2023, I can just tell you right now, is going to be overwhelming. And so just because I've been faithful in this one little small thing every third Friday, rain or shine, or if it's just me, whatever, Craig can't be there. Craig's been kind enough to jump on when he was in Atlanta. And wherever he is, I appreciate your friendship and your creativity and our partnership to serve the Lord Jesus Christ through the language of the arts. And there's a lot more. There's a lot. There's just so much, like when you guys see flowers, you will say, dag. But we need to make sure that we have all our ducks in a row, and that our footprint and the things that we are offering in Web3 is real. And so if you're saying, what does Wholesome WordZ have to do with this? It has everything to do with it. Wholesome WordZ is in Web2, good and well. Wholesome WordZ got to be up there somewhere in Web3. So if you're listening and you're not, or you want to know more information, I've learned a little bit. I don't mind sharing with you, but like Craig said, it was like maybe 3 weeks ago, Craig, almost a month. When we sat down with the fish and we started to Dreamcast.
Yeah, pretty much. Sorry for the dog barking there.
That's okay.
It's Phil. Sorry.
He's doing his job. Yeah. So it's only been 3 weeks, and from that time we have flown. We sat at the fish taco, the vegan pop place, and things started to just come together just like that. And yes, we're still in research and again getting our footing so that we are accessible in the Web3. And I know that may sound wild, but I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to get this in Web3 as well. So just stay tuned, stay prayerful, and know that God is doing something. You just believe in Him and close your eyes. And just like Andi start, I'm pretty sure she listens to her stuff now and go, I don't even know what this was. What was it? You know? But everyone starts somewhere, and I want to encourage you to just start. And I'm probably going to say this over and over again. And I'm honest, and Craig will tell you, I snotted and cried and kicked, and I'm not doing it. I said those words. I'm not. The words came out of my mouth. I'm not going to stop asking me. Yes, I did. And you see where I am right now. Right? So, if you're like me and you kick and you scream and you cry and you know, snot and ask, you know, Craig, why he's being so daggone mean to you, it's all for the better good for God. And so if I had stayed in what I felt I was controlling, then I'm never doing what God's asked me to do. I'm never moving into that realm. And if I believe that God is for me, then I need to trust that. Yeah. And so, So, Craig, you have any other words that you'd like to share about your falling into something new?
I think if we just continue to do like Andi has already illustrated in seeing God and seeking Him diligently, He'll reveal Himself to you. You know, case in point was just Friday, just yesterday. I was up around your guys' area, Temecula area, meeting with clients, and what I thought was going to be a single polo shirt deal, maybe 4 or 5 shirts for a client, has turned into 100 shirts plus those 4. You know, and the Lord is always going to give you more than you expect. So I know we've said it before on this program, and stay out of the box. Don't put limits on God, because He'll do whatever He wants to do. But you'll only see what He's doing if we put a framework around, if we put a box around, if we put limitations on it. That's all we're going to see, because He's doing so much more than we can imagine, creating people, you know, gathering folks in the hedge of heaven, judging people, and creating, you know, fingerprints and toe prints, and, you know, air in the air, you know, putting air together and feeding people and waking up people and putting stars and make sure they're in place. I mean, there's so many things He's doing, and, you know, and so many more. But if we just would listen to what He's doing for us and our life, and use our relationship for good and not for evil, the world could be such a better place. But don't be discouraged when bad things happen, or when bad thing happens to us, because that's in the Word. It's supposed to. In these days, in this world, we will have trouble, and it's going to happen. And so we just have to use those times as reminders that we are doing the right thing. We are where the Lord wants us to be, and we just got to keep going forward. So that's why I share. Go forward. And Joe, that video is ready. If you want to use it to close out, it's 4 minutes and 19 seconds, or we can save it to next month. It's not a problem.
No, I want everybody to see, especially since we've been kind of diving into Web3 and crypto. But before we do that, Andi, do you want to say something before or after the video?
It's up to you. I'm okay either way.
Craig, what do you recommend?
Well, why don't we watch it, and there may be some thought on it, and then we can close on the end. I mean, it's always free. It's always free.
All right, so
here's
so wait, cue it up so that you're explaining to what people are about to see.
Okay, so what it is I think it's the 3rd episode, maybe the 2nd. I could be wrong, but it's either the 2nd or 3rd episode of season 2 of The Hype. And The Hype is a urban streetwear competition where they bring in designers, and they have competition just like, you know, other design shows. This particular competition, they're instructed to create a screen print tee in the physical world as well as the digital world, and they're gonna make an NFT for as wearable art in the digital world for their avatar to wear. And the winner of the competition in the physical and in the digital world, they were awarded a fashion show, a full-on runway show where they will be able to design digital art to match their wearable art for this Web3 environment. They too talk about direct to garment printing, which I was so super excited about, and I found myself, Joanne crying, snotting and crying when they mentioned this, because this show has only been on 2 seasons, and to find this technology that the Lord has blessed us to use in this show being talked about and spoken of is a reminder and confirmation for me that I'm in the right place. The Lord hasn't left me. I haven't gone off and left him and been in a place all by myself. So when you find yourself in those moments where you think you're lost, listen for the Lord. He'll let you know that you're right, wrong, or indifferent. So here we are. We're going to watch this, and then we'll be right back to talk about it.
Into where you're going with this next challenge, and it's right into the future of streetwear. The name of this challenge is From the Block to the Blockchain. Now, you guys already made a look in this competition that reps where you come from, but in this challenge, the co-signers want to see where your brand is going in the future. So each of you guys are going to create a full fit, but your hero piece will be the classic streetwear staple, the t-shirt.
The t-shirt is the essential of streetwear to me. That's where a lot of brands start. And once you get the message across, then you can introduce other things. But I think the t-shirt is like an attention grabber.
And you're also making a digital NFT t-shirt. NFTs are the new currency of streetwear. When you make a piece of digital clothing, you can have it minted, meaning it's a unique piece of art, and then when someone buys it, they can own it forever. And their avatar will be able to wear it in the metaverse. I'm not an expert in this by any means, but I did make a quick call, and I had one of the pioneers of this space agree to come pull up.
We out here, we made it, we gon' get it,
Member of the Hype family, Bobby Hundreds, my dog.
Hello? Bobby Hundreds is a legend in the game. He's been doing streetwear since the beginning of what streetwear is.
This is Bobby Hundreds, as you know. He is a critically acclaimed author and co-founder of The Hundreds, who recently dropped some of the most successful digital wearables in the metaverse. But Bobby, first of all, thank you so much for being here today. We appreciate you stopping by. Can you just give the designers a little bit of game about NFTs, the metaverse, and maybe what this all means for the future?
Yeah, well, really what an NFT is just making it so that you can own a lot of things that are on the internet that for the last 10 to 15 years we were convinced were for free. And so what NFTs do, it's a way of marking something as belonging to somebody so that everyone in the entire world can see and agree on that this is real. We already do this with stocks, and if you buy a home, like there's deeds, and a lot of our certification is done electronically now anyways. When people say it's not real or I can't see it, we already do that. And what I want you to do is to bring the authenticity, to bring the genuine nature of street culture into the metaverse. You guys can be the ones to win and own it all.
I just want to make sure this is really you and not the
metaverse. I'm really
metaverse, Bobby. It's really Bobby. Well, Bobby, I appreciate you stopping by.
All right.
My brother. Thank you, Bobby.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate you.
Yeah. A slogan on a t-shirt or a piece of art or a graphic design, it's the purest mode of self-expression. I think the low barrier of entry in building a streetwear brand comes from the ability of young people to be able to screen print a t-shirt in their backyards, which is literally how we started our brand 19 years ago.
You know, OG come through, drop some gems. You know what I'm saying? A lot of what we know about streetwear is because of him and Ben. And so, let's get into the challenge a little bit more. For this challenge, you guys, once again, will be your own models. Knox, I know that's not your favorite thing, but it is what it is. In this challenge, you will create 2 distinct fits, one for the digital space and one for the real world. Co-signers are going to judge you guys based on both. In addition to the winning t-shirt being dropped for sale on StockX, the NFT version will be sold as a digital wearable in Decentraland, a virtual reality platform. You guys will also get the opportunity to be featured in the 2023 Metaverse Fashion Week.
I'm super excited for this. I've been on Decentraland, so to get a runway show there is nuts.
So I need this.
A win in this challenge guarantees your spot in the finale. And so a win here means that you have a shot at getting the ultimate cosign and $150,000.
To appear in the 2023 Decentraland Fashion Show, that's a major opportunity. To see one of my Dom Perignon t-shirts on a little avatar in the metaverse is gonna be so dope.
Your challenge begins right now. Good luck, yo.
Wow. That was awesome.
I won't tell you who won. So those who want to watch, I won't tell you who won. I won't spoil it.
Thanks, Craig. Wow. So NFT is non-fungible tokens. They're tokens that make it transferable for you to do all kinds of stuff. Like I said, I'm just now, because that was my class of Third Economy, learning about it. But I think that when we're looking at even spoken word, how is that a part of what's going on? So Craig and I are exploring and throwing things together and trying to put our footprint in there. So like Craig said, we have been talking about it, and I think it was like the next day or 2 days later, he said, "Is this what you're talking about, Joe?" And when I saw it, I'm like, "Oh my God!" I got all excited, and I'm like, "See, Craig, this is what I'm talking about. Yes, this is it. It's possible, but let's be the game changers. Let's just jump in and let's try to make this a reality, because I believe that God's calling us to do it." So I never believed that things that just happened. I don't believe that it was a coincidence. I don't have those in my life. I really believe that my life is really planned out, and it was time for me to have this come up to me in the way that it did, for me to realize that I'm at a marker of my life, and this is what I was expected to see and do and experience and pass on as we talk about legacies. So yeah, it's just exciting. So a lot to learn, but isn't that what life's about?
That's it.
Yeah.
So Andy, do you have anything?
Yeah, surprisingly, God was talking to me during the video, and he was giving me insight of how we like to, going back to overcoming our fears, between the, when I was looking at it, how it said like the digital world and the physical world. So he was giving me that we are in the physical world. This is the physical world, and the digital world is the spiritual world. That's what he was giving me, and how we need to overcome our fears in the physical world so that we can jump into the spiritual world, so that he can do even more work through us in the spiritual world. Because through going on your page, Joanne, every day, and seeing the love letters that you post, one of the love letters spoke to me, where it says that God is more real to us than even our best friend, even the people that we can see face to face. He's more real to us than we can ever imagine. But we have to change our mindset, and get out of that physical mindset and get ourselves into the spiritual mindset. So I don't know. That's what he gave me. Hopefully it resonates with someone out there. But I hope that helps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't have anything else. Y'all got anything? Craig,
Well, next month we'll be right back.
I don't know. Next month. Wait, what? When is Thanksgiving? This
I think it's the 24th.
This would technically occur on Black Friday, right?
Well, I guess we can have a Black Friday broadcast.
Does that mean we all don't show our pictures and actually show the black screen?
Oh, you said you're talking this, Craig? You talking about this? You're so funny. You're so funny. Well, it's been a blessing. I want to thank Craig, Mr. DJ, Mr. C. Check out up and coming soon, Carlisle Family Prince. You can find him on Raising
Carlisle
It.
Family Incorporated. Ba-bum-bum.
Incorporated. Oh, you guys are getting incorporated.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's true. He's looking at legacy, passing stuff down to his sons. They are very much a part of even the framework and raising men, as well as the family prints. I think Jackson goes to school and kids come up with ideas, and he comes back and say, "Hey, Dad, can you make this?" And the next thing you know, Jackson's got orders and bringing hundreds of dollars home with people's sizes so that they can wear their little hoodies or shirts or whatever to school. So
Yeah,
I'm just saying, inspire, encourage, uplift. You need a t-shirt. But if you're interested and you are thinking about doing some t-shirt stuff or other printed stuff, because it's not just t-shirts he does. What else do you offer, Craig?
it's pretty much anything that can be printed or you want to be printed. We can either facilitate it, and we've done everything from stickers to napkins to we just did a self-inking rubber stamp for your friend Robert at Brew Wave Coffee. We were just in
Oh, did you have a copy of that?
no, you know what's funny? I did not. It's in my thing. We'll have it ready for next week because I'm just waiting for it to arrive. It's already been ordered. Just waiting for it to show. And then we've done a couple retractable signs, which I did not show. I didn't even think about it, to be honest. I just did one. I'm about to do one for Crystal. And
she got in contact with you.
Yep, we've actually talked to her 3 times, once on the phone, a couple times via text, a couple emails back and forth. So we're actively engaged in creating the retractable for Crystal, as well as some t-shirts for a restaurant. We're talking with Sharon, met with Sharon yesterday on my trip out there from Sharon. Shout out to Sharon's Creole Kitchen. We're looking to do employee shirts as well as merch shirts for customers, and working with Dr. Lowe from Lowe's Chiropractic and Lehigh Sports Chiropractic. Let me make sure I butchered that. I apologize, Dr. Lowe. It's his new location he's opening in Lehigh, Utah. So we're working with him for new shirts, as well as I think I've got another client somewhere. I've notes for someone else I need to follow up on. So this is exciting. So next month I'll have more information.
All right.
As well as the launches ours on Amazon, Etsy, and Shopify. Probably before the weekend's up, we'll have this shirt, as well as probably 4 to 6 other designs for both male and female in multiple colors by the weekend.
Okay, are you putting this on a Facebook page, Craig?
The Facebook and Instagram pages for Carlisle Family Printing is up. They are up and active. They're just not. There's just purposefully no content yet. We're waiting for the web page to be finalized, and the web page is available, but we just aren't advertising traffic to it yet. We're waiting to finish some final things before we release at least the landing page in its space. But we've got some of the posts like I sent you earlier just to preview and see what you thought. I think I got 3 of those, and I've got 2 flower posts. They're in kind of like halfway positions. So probably over the next 6 to 8 days, we'll release some more stuff.
All right. Well, I want to thank everybody. This has been once again an exhilarating conversation from falling into something new. We will see you guys next month. I think it is Black Friday.
It's actually not. I checked it. This will be the 18th of November, which is the 3rd Friday of November, which leaves us with Thanksgiving and Black Friday being the following Thursday, Friday. So we are not going to be able to be interfering with that. And Andy, just a shout out to you. Send me anything that you want, ideas, thoughts, and impressions that you have. And just call me when you get a chance over the weekend. If you have a moment, we can talk through. I'd love to hear your vision for Inspire, Encourage, Uplift, so I can see what the Lord takes me to bring you some graphics that we can collab on for you, for your effort.
Yeah, surprisingly, like right now, God was just giving me a vision right now, how like inspire, encourage, uplift with hands uplifting the words. Got it.
Okay, we'll do that.
Did you guys just see what I don't know if y'all caught it. Did y'all just see what happened? Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. That's what happens when creatives get together. I'm just saying.
We can do it. I'd love to partner with you. It'd be my pleasure.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Okay. Well,
Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you so much, Joanne and Craig. Thank you.
God,
Oh,
it's
hey,
truly is
no
all
problem.
God. It just
Yeah.
be obedient.
It's better than sacrifice.
Yeah. So someone, see, Andy,
Yep.
someone is always waiting.
It was you.
Quote.
It was you this time. It was you this time.
Yeah, it was you this time. We were all waiting on the other end of this one. You know what I'm saying? We were all waiting on different things, waiting on Andy to join, waiting on the silly video to finally spin up, and I've actually rendered it twice and then couldn't find it afterwards. And then Andy needed his shirts, and Joanne needed that word, and it's how the Lord works it, right? Those who are seeking after Him, we're always going to find Him. He's going to reveal Himself to us, and going to give us exactly what we needed, and also we're going to get what we want. It may not look like what we wanted, but somewhere at some point we made a sincere, fearless request for it, and that's what showed. So that's how it works.
Someone is always waiting on the other side of your obedience. So take that leap of faith. You never know who's waiting for their breakthrough through you. Right? Well, it's been a pleasure, and I'll see y'all. Good night.
Good night.